Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Toledo, your host on Dent PDR, a podcast about PDR training, tutorials, interviews, and much more. So get something to eat, drink, and start pushing. It's time to listen. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me. We are on episode 13. As you guys know, I don't like to waste a lot of time. I'm going to get right into it. I got a special guest named Ryan Brewer. You may have heard of him. You may not. There's a good chance you may not have heard of him. But I'll tell you what, he is a 6-year PDR tech, self-taught. We're going to talk about how he learned PDR, what was the struggles. And the reason why we brought him on here is to talk about the customer base. Now, he has been working his formulas on how he was able to build his business. And we're going to, towards the end, towards the middle of the conversation, we're going to talk about which customer base do you want to be in. Because you're either going to be in the high-end market or you're going to choose to be in the low-end market. And you can't have both. And we will talk about it. And why would you? Why would you want both? So, but we're going to talk about that. Ryan, thank you for coming on, dude. Appreciate it. Buddy. So, as I mentioned, man, you are a 6-year PDR self-taught tech. How old are you?
I am 29.
Damn, baby. It's a baby, man.
Yep. I'm an 80s baby, though, so.
And what year are you born?
88.
Gosh, dang.
I just made the 80s.
Dude, you could be my kid, dude. Literally, like mathematical, easy, dude. So
I get it all the time.
So Ryan, let's just get to the point, dude. So you had to, before this episode started, I had to get some briefs from you. And I thought I heard you say this, but I'm going to say, where did you get taught, or how did you learn to do PDR?
To be honest, I learned paintless dent repair, the actual art of paintless dent repair from Dent Trainer. It's insane.
Nice. And that was 4 years ago, but you were doing PDR 2 years prior to that.
I was doing some push to paints. I worked for a guy for about 10 years who owned a company called Dentworks. But I was painting cars for him, and the push to paints that those guys were doing were just not up to. I mean, I'm knocking down these big boulders, having to fill them with Bondo, and I was like, man, this is not good for the car. I don't want it. So I was like, I have to figure out something better. And I started buying some tools. I watched some of Mike's videos before Dent Trainer was even available. I got them. I started doing push to paints. And then my next goal, you always have to have goals, right?
Yeah.
Was to get these things to where I never had to paint them. So I started doing that for the guy I was working for. And he was like, did you paint this? I'm like, no, man, I didn't paint it. I pushed it out. It took me a while, but I pushed it out and it came out nice, right? So after that, I was like, man, my next goal is to own my own company, and then to be better, the best I could possibly be at paintless dent repair. And that was a huge struggle for me because I opened up a body shop probably about 7 years ago with my brother, he trained with you. And we developed this account from Enterprise where we were just bombarded with cars. And I was like, well, we have to they wanted us to do paintless dent repair. And I was like, well, yeah, I could do it. I'm going to figure it out. So I was struggling my butt off. I was trying to push these dents out. And then most of the time doing push to paints. And I was like, Rusty, man, I can't keep doing this. I have to figure out something better. And then that's when Dent Trainer came along. And I my brother, he's a cheapo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a cheapo. So I'm like, Rusty, I need to get this program. It's called Dent Trainer. It's going to be $60 a month. And it's going to teach me the things I need to know because I don't have somebody standing over my shoulder showing me what my bad habits are. And then it took me probably about 3 or 4 months to convince my brother to spend that $60 a month when we were doing $70,000 a month in revenue. He finally, I just went behind his back. I ordered the program, and since the day I started watching Dent Trainer, it's been a total life changer. It taught me everything I needed to know. And then from there, it was a stepping stone. It was just insane for me.
Well, and Rusty, when I was training your brother, he told me, he's like, yeah, Ryan was just in the back, just pushing away for hours, just pushing away. And he's that type of guy, man. He just like this, just can learn stuff, and he just gets in there. And we'll talk about that because everybody
Yeah.
can be that type of tech. It's a dedication thing too. So it's, you got to live, sleep, and breathe PDR to be that
That's
good,
what
that
people
fast.
don't understand. I don't think a lot of people who oh man, they see it being so easy. They're like, oh man, you make it look so easy. I just want to get in. I can't tell you how many times we've all heard somebody say, I want to get into doing it. How do you get into doing it? I'm like, it's not, you have to live this stuff. I lived it the entire way for the past 6 years. I lived and breathed this stuff to get it down pat, you
I
know?
agree. I'm trying, today on the way home, I was thinking about our podcast, and then I was also thinking about new scripts for, for my company and for our mega media event that we're going to be doing too as well, which is October 20th through the 18th, in case you guys are interested, denttrainermedia.com. But how can you describe paintless dent repair to people now? What I'm trying to portray to people is like, look, it is surgery for cars. That's what it is. We're taking metal tools, most of the time they're sharp, and we are pushing from behind and we are performing surgery. We are keeping the paint intact, saving your paint. Now, there are bad surgeons out there and there are good ones. It's not like going to get a gallon of milk, man. And like, just because a company says they perform PDR doesn't mean they're good at it. So along those terms, I'm coming up with a script like that. But getting back on track, Ryan, where are you from?
I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Actually from a crappy city outside of it called Chalmette. Um, so they call us a Shell Nation. That's what we are. That's where we're from. So
Wow. Yeah, look at that, man. I still got to go out there and visit that area, man. So,
man, you come, we'll definitely have a good time for sure.
is there any catfish out there?
Catfish.
Yeah. No,
We have catfish, but that's not what we want. We don't want the
you don't want the
catfish.
catfish? No fried
No.
catfish?
Fried catfish is okay, but we have a lot way better things to offer in the seafood industry
Well, I want
than
to do
catfish.
catfish like when you stick your hand down on the ground, and down underneath there,
The
and
noodle, they call it noodling.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
man,
don't scare the crap out of you, but
I'm still like I'm from the South. I live and breathe in the swamp, and I'm scared to do that.
I know, dude. Is there some snapping turtles over there?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. They have sharks in those waters now. That's not. I'm
No.
not in for
Yeah, I'm not going to do that then. No.
that.
Um. So anyhow, you are a self-taught tech. I've trained your brother, which you guys are complete opposites. All right. I've trained Rusty. Rusty is the conservative. You're the
Yes.
go-getter. Like, hey, I'm willing to make mistakes. And so what? I'll dust myself off. I just want to say that is I hate to say it, that is a strong characteristic of a great and good tech, a successful one, because that's me right there. I have an idea. I don't care, dude. I'm going after it. If I believe in it, I'm going to go
Right.
after it. I am going to do it. Dude, I fight back and forth with my wife, man. She is like my partner, like my business partner. And
Right.
she's the Rusty, and don't get me wrong. Rusty is one hell of a guy, man. I love that guy, dude. All right.
And he's needed.
Yeah.
You need that type of person in your life because if not, you can keep
Yes.
making bad decisions.
Yes. No, no, no. Yeah, you're right. He's the ground one. He's the devil's advocate, just like my wife, which I will bring her on the show here. But she shoots everything down, dude. And here's how it goes, man. If I can't get past her, it's not a good idea. It really isn't. Okay. But if I still believe in that idea, like you would, I'm sure you and Rusty have been in the same boat.
Oh yeah.
You finally get past it, right? Then he knows, okay, he's really got a good idea. Let's just roll with it. So you have to be really, like you said, you have to be a go-getter, and you have to have somebody in the background to kind of like, hey, wait a minute, let's
It's
look
like
at the
that
logistics.
the hailstorm that hit when he was training with you in California. It was like he was like, no, we're not doing the dealership deal. We're not going to make no money on it. Not going to happen. Guess what? I pulled it out my butt. And we made it. 29 years old, I landed the biggest account of my life, and we both made money off of it. So it's putting yourself out there and, like you said, dusting yourself off whenever you make bad decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a must. You know what I mean? I think it's something that has to be done.
It is. I mean, I'm not telling, and by no means that anybody out there is listening. I'm not telling you to go against your partner or your wife or your husband or whatever. I'm just saying, realistically, you really have to have a plan to make them both understand, and go after it. I mean, don't give up your dream, but man, make sure that if it's something that you are really strongly believe in, you're gonna get it. It just happens. So you'll be able to do that. So. Now moving on. Okay, so 6-year PDR tech, you're doing this right now. Let's talk about, because we're going to get to like a little bit more deeper and deeper into things. So you totally taught yourself. How did you get how can I say it, dude? Like, how did you know that you wanted to learn more and then take your business? What were you doing? How were you advertising before or during this learning adventure? You said you're already doing painting cars?
That's where I totally struggled at. And I think they have a ton of people out there struggling with the same deal. You might work for somebody and it might be somebody that just might not be the best business owner. So then off top, you're just thinking, oh, I need to go be a business owner. I need to go do this and do that. For me, man, I struggled my butt off thinking that, I wanted to own my own business. I knew I could take it to another level because I have the ambition and I'm willing to make the mistakes to get to that. I'm not stopping, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Till it gets to that point. But I did struggle with asking myself, do I want to own a business? Man, I can go work for somebody with what I know and my capabilities of pushing dents. I can go make great money working for somebody, right? And that was my low. That was like my down low in the PDR industry. And then it took going to the mega media event for me, pushed me to that second level of bringing my business where I wanted to and knowing that I had the tools to do that.
Like what do you be? Let's just, and you guys, I'm here with Ryan from dentprousa.com, based out of Louisiana, in case you guys want to know. Ryan Brewer from dentprousa.com out of Louisiana. What were you looking for to help market your company, to take it to a different level that you wanted to go to?
I just wanted to be different than everybody else. I mean, it was a thing where Louisiana is pretty old school and people are still looking up, businesses in the yellow pages.
Yeah.
People call me up, man, I didn't see your number in the yellow pages. I'm like, I didn't know people still use it, So I was like, and I just always had the ambition to be the best company that I could possibly be. And I've seen the future.
That's right. That's right.
Always seen the future. And I said the technology, and I explained that to my brother. For me to spend money on marketing, and my brother, it was very, very hard.
Yes.
I was like, look, man, we got to start spending money on ads. We have to do this. And it started working for us. And that's when I said, man, I need to learn more about this part of the business. Because I hear you guys saying this all the time. You could be the best dent guy on the planet, but if you can't market yourself or sell your services, what does it matter that you're the best dent guy? You'll be the best broke dent guy in the market.
Yep, that's right.
It's crazy.
And it's opposite too. You could be the worst dent guy, right? And market the best, and you're killing it, right?
Make it crazy.
And we see that time and time again. Like, how's that Hail Tech? That guy, he's Mr. Chewy, man. He's Mr. Dent different. Why is he at every storm getting work? Because he hustles, he markets, he does whatever. It's the same thing. When you've heard me say this a lot of times, or maybe Ryan before, McDonald's doesn't make that great of a burger, man. You know what I mean? We all can make a better burger, but why is McDonald's that way? Because they market the crap out of themselves. So, and they do it good. So
I sell that day in and day out.
Yep.
That's how I sell my services for the market that I want to be in. You $6 hamburger, you got your 99-cent burger down a corner.
Well, and that's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into the market. What market do you want to get into? So this is a very important thing, because I think a lot of people get confused. You can go to PDR College, and I just want to give some shout outs to some really good podcasts out there. You got PDR College. You're going to check them out. Go to iTunes, Stitcher. You got PDR Tool Time, which I was on the last episode, which I really encourage you to go check out. That was about the dealerships, the wholesale market. Did you hear that one? Ryan? Did you listen to that one?
Is that with Jeremy Carroll?
No, that was with what? Gosh, dang it! I'm brain farting right now.
But
So
you did do one with Jeremy Carroll
Dave
with
Shalott.
PDR Tool Time, right?
That was a long time ago. Yeah, yeah. But
Man, look, if you haven't listened to that podcast, go listen to it. Jeremy Carroll is a phenomenal guy.
and he's a
But
hell of
that is,
he's a hell of a
dude,
salesman too.
man, that's what I'm saying. If you want to be in the market that you want to be in, go listen to him.
Yeah,
He's gonna help you out.
I got to bring him back on this show.
Yeah,
So
man, I love Jeremy. Jeremy's awesome.
so PDR Tool Time. You've got the entertaining John Hiley. He has some really good stuff. And I think there's another one you might want to check out. Chris and the guys on YouTube. Gosh dang, I don't know what his channel is, dude. What's that guy? What's the guy? Christopher Ray. Christopher Ray. Look up Christopher Ray on YouTube. He's got some really good interviews and things like that as well. So moving on. So we're going to talk about customer base. Okay, which one do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the high-end market or do you want to be in the low-end market? Because Ryan, can you be in both? Have you been able to crack the nut that you can be in both? And
Man, I will tell everybody out there that is a nut you are not going to crack. I mean,
Why?
it's just not possible, because you're so. For me, I have 4 other techs that work here in my company that I've trained to be here. And I was like, man, I'm not turning down nothing. I was so hungry in the beginning of this business. I said, I don't care who calls, we're fixing their dent, and that's how it's going to go. So I'm in the dealership industry. I'm in the body shop industry. I'm in the low end retail market, the high end retail market, and I'm getting pulled in so many different directions. It spreads me so thin that you starting to lose, where you really wanted to be
Yeah.
in the market in the first place. And that's not, I mean, it's impossible to deal with. I mean, you're going to die of stress. You're going to get divorced. It's all going down. You know what I mean? So you have to really choose where you want to be and how big is your company, first of all. I mean, I think that's a huge deal on how, if you're an independent PDR tech that's just owning the business with maybe you and your husband or just you, I think that there are different ways. But if you have 4 and 5 techs that work for you, you have to feed those families. So you have to figure out in the market, maybe that's not for the high end part. Maybe you're in the dealership and the body shop stuff, but don't try to do it all. It's never going to happen.
Well, there you go. It's time for a system though. You know what I mean? So
and the system is what's going to really save you. Even with the system, trying to do all those different things is still next to impossible.
yeah.
The system works really, really well, but you have to choose to use that system in your type of
Right.
market.
It's right. It's built for which market, right?
Correct.
Or
Right.
which market do you want to go in? Like, here's my take on the market thing. Listen, folks, you can't. The reason why I believe you can't do both is because, look, you want to have that pristine name, pristine quality. We are this, we are that. But if you go to the low end market, what are you doing? You're diluting that name, right? You're diluting the pristine part of it. And then you know what you do? You confuse yourself, and then you confuse your base, your customer base. And now you can't say, well, I'm a premium quality, high quality PDR company, and this is what I charge. Well, no, you don't, because my cousin got it for, you charge blah blah blah, and you're playing ping pong, And another thing is you got to stay strong. You might not get 3 people might call you, and you might not get all 3 of them in a row, but the 4th one you can. But here's what happens: by the 4th one, it's either you're going to stick to your guns or you're going to fold. Right? You're like, well, that's why I got the job, because I lowered my price. What? How do you know
I've
that?
done it. We've all done it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
We've all done it.
That's why I'm saying it.
I know. I've recently consumed a company. I'm not going to name any names in my local market, but I consumed a company that was around for 25 years, and his market was the super, super low end market, right? Super low end. So I consumed his company, got the phone number, got the email address, got everything. And the customers that call me up with the stuff that dents for $15. They're like, man, you still doing dents for $15? I'm like, I've never done a dent for $15, and that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So I have to politely save face with my company and try to tell this customer that they're about to pay anywhere from $95 to $150 for that door ding that they just walked in. But I'll tell you what, using your system and the system that you guys put in place for me, I'll say 70 to 80% of the time, I'm closing that customer in and explaining to them why they're about to pay more money, and they're ecstatic about it.
What do you think is high end about your company? Like, give me some couple, like, just touch base on, just name some things on the top of your head. Like, what gives the customer the impression of that you are high end?
The first impression and that's what I banked on when I opened up the business, was to have a physical location. Everybody in my market, nobody had a physical location. They were all just rolling up to the customer's house. If you know anybody from Louisiana, we take our sleeves and we cut them off all the way down to the bottom of our shirts, and that they're going to customers' houses. And sometimes, I mean, I've heard stories where people were scared to come out their house, and I was like, well, this is where I'm gonna start off my base and change the game, is I'm gonna open up a physical location. And Mike, as soon as you walk into my front door, I have all my plaques, all the certifications, everything lined up. So when a customer walks in, that's the first thing they're looking at. And then as soon as they see it, I'm already professional. There's nothing, I'm not even selling anymore. I have guys with the system that I put in place. I have guys that are in my shop. I'm on the road getting other stuff done. And these guys are in my shop using my system that I got from you guys to sell. And they're closing deals. I mean, lining up stuff for weeks and weeks in advance. And it's working
Yeah.
on
Well,
low end customers that I've taken low end customers and brought them to a high end customer base.
well, I definitely think impressions, especially the physical ones, are friggin'
$100.
super duper important. And another thing too is like, okay, take me to the process of a customer, because they have to find you, I would assume, online or in a phone book, or how do they know your shop exists? Is it a storefront, or is it somewhere where a lot of traffic's at, or do they
Yes.
go
Well,
to the
I have a
website, or
storefront that
how does it work?
it runs 60,000 people a day. And that was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. The city did the ordinance trying to check what it did as far as how many people pass. 60,000 people pass a day in front of my shop. And I'll tell you, maybe 5 or 6 come every other week because they passed it. Everything is because of the internet. I
Yeah.
mean, dude, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Google, everything has changed it, man. I'm like, because I have a thing where we ask every single customer that comes through the door, how did you hear about us? And they're like, every single one of them are like, man, I Googled paintless dent repair and you popped up first. Popped it up, my name came up, everything was good, and we closed the deal. And then obviously from there, and everybody can agree that it was all word of mouth. I mean, we've had tons of word of mouth, but it started from that seed of the internet,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep. And we're going to get into your website stuff too, because we strongly believe in the systems in that too. What do you think like took you the longest to set up in the social media part? Or like to like hone it in and like polish it? Or was it Google? Like, was it AdWords?
Google
Was it
pretty
a,
easy for me because it was just a money part, you know? Google just wants your money.
yeah. Yeah.
I just spent money with Google, and I'll tell you guys this. This is what's insane. I opened this physical location up 3 years ago. 3 years and 6 months is this month. I opened it up, and my first year open, uh, I was nowhere to be found on Google. I was way down. I mean, they had body shops that were listed higher than me, and they didn't even offer paintless dent repair. So I just started doing what I had to do with Google, paying them some money, talking to them on the phone.
Now you're referring to AdWords, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes. I started off with AdWords. I did everything I needed to do with AdWords, and then I started seeing my stuff go up. It was all good. And then after that, I started doing more. Man, everything I do, I'm researching everything. And then it started off with AdWords, and then we could start adding photos to Google, starting to do all those things with Google. And you put in the homework, it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
And that's what Google, that part of it paid off for me. Yelp's not big for me out here. I mean, we were asking people, how often do you use Yelp? And they were like, I don't even know what Yelp is.
Yeah.
Different for you out there in California, man.
It is.
Everybody uses Yelp.
It's definitely different for everyone. But my main thing too is don't give up on anything, guys.
I'm in Yelp. I use Yelp all the time.
What I say is everything can be dormant, dude. It's still active, right? And then one day One day you never know, but if you're not paying attention, you're going to be in some deep doo doo. So
Well, that's
just
being ahead of the game, like
that's
you
right.
guys always said, and that's why I started doing all this stuff is to be ahead of my game because I'll be honest with you, my competition, half of them, they don't even have Facebook. They don't know what Instagram is, but I know that one day they're going to find out what that stuff is. And I need to be so far ahead of them light years that they're not even going to compare. And
Yeah,
I'll tell you guys, that's the main reason I got into the entire marketing part of my business.
and that's a huge, huge thing, guys. I mean, you guys got the easy part down. You do PDR and you're good at
Right.
it, right? You got it.
Right.
You're good at it. Yeah, we get our butts kicked because we want that challenge and we're doing, hard repairs. But what's really hard is making sure that you're maintaining that revenue, right? Staying on top of your game, making sure that income is coming, and it can be fun. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a drag. It could be, don't you find it actually fun and kind of rewarding when you see something that you didn't put in place before, and then all of a sudden you put it in place, and then all of a sudden you watch it and it's bringing revenue in it. It's actually
You know,
making a
do
difference.
you know what did that for me was reviews, and that was the last thing that we talked about in the mega media event from
Yeah.
the first one you guys put on.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, my goal for 2018 is I want 100 reviews on in between Google and Facebook. For me to do it in between both of them might be a little absurd, but in between both of them, dude, when I'm at home at 12 o'clock at night and I get 2 and 3 5-star reviews and what these people are saying about my company, it blows my mind. I'm like, man, this is why I'm in the end. This is why I want to do what I do.
Yeah. Yep. Especially when you put these little systems in, because right, Ryan, you've heard me say this before. If you don't have a system, you don't own a business. You own a what? What is it called? It's not a business. You don't have a business. You own a job, dude.
Oh man, working in your business or working on your business is two totally different things. And I think a lot of my brother didn't get that at first. It was like we're just gonna grind it out, do what we have to do to get everything done. And I was like, man, we have to work on the business to be able to grow it and do what we need to do to get that clientele base that we actually want.
Yep. And that goes back to finding which customer base you want. I mean, it's fine and dandy if you guys want to be the lowest priced
Dude,
PDR tech out there, but you guys know, don't you realize that when you go for the cheap people, you're getting the most pickiest people too. So,
oh yeah.
so I got a tech tip for you guys in the middle of here, since you guys are, if you guys are paying attention, which you are. Rusty's he's blowing up right now, dude.
Yeah, yeah. We got call. I mean, it's after hours. I got people calling me up all day long.
All right, so I got this story here. It's this customer sends me a photo, and it's pretty nasty dent. And I told him $825. This is through email, and he contacts me back. He goes, "Can you go a little lower? That's a little high." And I said, "High compared to what?" And so naturally, they usually don't have an answer for that 90% of the time. I said, it appears to me that you probably have not went to a body shop yet. So let me know." And he comes back to me, he goes, "Well, I just need it to look, better." And we all hear that, right? I just want to look better.
We
Okay?
all hear it.
Now, there's a couple of ways you can handle that, okay? And my latest one, I'll tell you what I used to say. Well, sir, it's not going to look better. It's just going to look different. So I either do it right or I don't. So that used to be one option. I had tons of good replies. If you haven't been on Dent Trainer and gone to the business center, there's some good replies too as well. But my latest one is, and we've all been talking about this on another group. Customer goes, "Well, I just want it to look better." Okay, no problem. My fee is $150 an hour. You tell me when to stop. Right there, dude. It shuts them down really fast, because, well, how long is it going to take? Well, I'll take as long as it needs to. Like I said, 1 to 2 days to do this repair, but I'll spend $150 an hour and you tell me when to stop. So right there, I shut them down, and I'm very polite. So But you
That's the
have
whole
to,
thing is you're saving face for your
that's
company
right. You have
to
to,
not be, man, it's so easy to be like, man, go somewhere else because I don't want to do
no.
your dent because we just do perfect work.
Right now, you're
I
telling
used
the value of you, right? Some guys like, I charge $225. Okay, well, you put whatever you want an hour. Okay, I'm just putting it out there for the
right.
customer to really go, look, my time is valuable. So, and look, I told you I'll spend as much time as I needed for $825, but you're asking me to go lower, and you want to put my price down, so I'm going to do 700. Excuse me, 150 an hour, and you tell me when to stop. So, there's a little tech tip there to get through there. So where were we, Ryan?
So we were starting to get into the part of the industry of where like what part of the market you want to be in. I think
Right.
mostly you were asking
Talk about
me
the system. Like what I was,
the system and how the system works for me.
give me an idea. Okay. Because this is all I talk about and truthfully, what we're saying is that Ryan he's portraying what kind of customer he wants. Okay. He's telling the customer, look, I want to attract these type of customers. I'm on your site. What am I going to see on your site, dude? Okay. What's your website now anyway, so people can go look at it?
That's one thing. I had a website a couple of years ago that was and John put this really he was pretty blatant about it. It was like just a sit and wait website, which I had no problem with. It was a nice website. I liked it. It was like the first website I ever had. I was like, man, I'm super proud of it. But when you put it in the aspect, it was not a site that sold for me. It didn't sell anything. It was just gave you a bunch of information and did what it did. My website now, man, it is like to the point, sells in. I mean, I get so many people that come through my website that submit quotes through the website. Man, I'm getting hail damage from Colorado.
No, give me a rundown. They come to your site. What's your site doing?
All right, so you go to the site. The first thing you're going to see is you're going to see quote form, the
Call to
review,
action. Call to action.
call to action. You're going to see reviews. Everybody wants to see reviews. And then after that, it's going to be a little bit of information about what your company is about and what you're willing to offer. And then after that, it's just actually making action and giving that quote. It's a super simple site. There's not a bunch of pages. There's one page. That's what I tell people. Have one page in your website and get all the information packed in that one page. That's going to be super simple for people to see.
That's right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Right.
Keep it nice. Keep it clean. Right. Not too overpowering.
I did not get anybody. I mean, I used to get very rarely people wanting to commit to my website back in the day. And then I'm not even joking you now. When I ask people, how did you hear about us? They're like, man, we Googled you, we went to your website, looked at some videos. I have two videos, man. Those two videos sell. They don't even need to call me up with their crappy story about how they got their dent and their grandma's rocker hit the thing. They don't even need to tell me that. They just send me a quote.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Dude, I don't have time for it, So they send me the quote, I send them an estimate, and I've gotten reviews. If you go look on my Google review, I have reviews from people.
Hold on. You get a little ahead of that. Hold on a second. We know you got good reviews, but how are we getting those reviews, right? Like we're not going to tell. I'm not going to say like give him his exact formula, but you've got a formula, right? Now, walk me through. They go on your site. They want an estimate. You give them an estimate back. Are you going back and forth with them and going, hey, this is what I got to open. This is what I got to open. Are you doing all that mumbo jumbo?
Not necessarily, because what I used was some of your quick text that I type in man, I'll tell you my process. A customer sends me a quote form. I have all their photos. I got their information. And best of all, I've got their email address. I got all their information I need. I write the estimate on Mobile Tech RX, which I would be lost without. I write it on Mobile Tech RX. I take a screenshot of the printed view, and then I text that to the customer. And then I literally hit E1 and it pops up this whole thing.
It populates.
It has everything in the paragraph, and I have the customer's name, how many hours it's going to take on the dent, and then I have a shortcut to my website for some quick videos for them to see it if they haven't seen them already.
So the customer goes through the process, you introduce them to the system, and then the system takes over.
As soon as the system hits the customer, they're sold. I'm not even joking you. As soon as I give them that system, as I write the estimate, and probably about 10 minutes later, I get a notification from the schedule calendar
Wait, hold on.
that
Hold on. Hold on a second.
I'm
Let's talk.
excited, dude.
Let's
I get
talk
super
about. Let's talk
excited.
about
Yeah.
this a little bit. So, I think that why that they react so well to your website or to however you are offering them. The
Mhm.
quote is because you're offering not just the quote. You're offering them an experience.
Oh
Like
yeah.
how many of your competitors are doing that? You know what I mean? Like you get back to them right away. It populates, and then you give them a quote. It's a professional sounding quote back, right? Explaining the details. And then what, right? Then you have what? Well, you have a link to your calendar, right?
I have a link to my calendar that they get to choose whatever time they want. It's like, man, I get customers that tell me, man, it was the easiest process, and it's in the reviews. The easiest process that I've ever been through to have my car repaired. They go to a
Exactly.
body shop,
Same here.
dude. These body shops are giving them oh, we got to keep your cars for 2 weeks. We need you to bring your car on this day. It's this biggest hassle. These people are like, man, I was able to bring my car at my time, my leisure, got my car repaired, saved money. I mean, it's like a big
Yeah.
plus
I've had
all the way
customers
around.
tell me it's streamlined. It's the best, easiest repair service they've ever dealt with, hassle free. Like I said, it comes back to the experience. Obviously, you had to tweak it inside. I talked to you about that, like the calendar, what kind of form you putting on there, all kinds of stuff, man. How much time do you think you've see? This is what's great about it. How much time do you think you've saved by not having to go? Can you imagine doing like 15, 20 emails a day, same spiel? You're taking time and you're working or doing whatever. And then maybe five of those customers are booking, 5 out of the 10 or 15 or 20, whatever. Let's say half those are getting back to you. And then you have to deal with the other half of those going, okay, what about this day? Or what about that day? And you just after the estimate, it's done. Like the system takes over. I mean, the only thing you got to do physically is fix their car and
You
say
know what I've been
bye.
you know what I've been doing? I've been fishing.
Yeah, there you go. How?
I'm not even joking you. Like it's when I was I was like, Mike, man, I really need to get I had most of the system down pat, and then like the last thing for me was the calendar. And I'm like, Mike, like as soon I knew I didn't even need to have it, and I already knew I needed it.
How has that changed you, dude?
Dude,
Changed your
it
business,
has
dude.
changed my life. Because look, every time you get on the phone with a customer, and even through text messages, these people want to tell you, they think that if they tell you how the dent happened, that they're going to get a better discount. I'm like, this is not any type of real business. You don't go to Burger King or McDonald's and tell them how hungry you are and how you got hungry. They're not going to give you a discount. So it streamlined everything for me. And then after that, these people just schedule in, they get their cars done. They're even more, dude, I get customers that are more happy that they've done it through my system
Yeah.
than they talk to me. Because now, let's get it the honest truth. They don't, everybody out there is not a salesman. You know what I mean? So what really works about the system is for the guys that aren't salesmen and they just like to fix dents, and they might lose. Dude, you might get some customers they lose because how rude they are,
Oh, they
and they
don't. They're
not
not a
come
good.
over
Yeah, they're not a good communicator.
right. So this system cleans it all up.
Well,
It takes it all down and brings it normal.
listen, guys. If you are ladies, if you guys are really interested in making your business easier, you should check out denttrainermedia.com. You should sign up for October 20 through the 8th. Excuse me, through the 18th through the 20th. It is legit. You want to know exactly how to do this and I've done it all. Helped set these guys up the way I know how to run my business. And I want to go fishing. I want to have time with my kids. I want to, how many times have you actually, all right, you're doing something, you're at an event, or maybe you're watching a movie, maybe you're in bed, and all of a sudden an appointment pops up on your phone, right?
All the time.
All the time in middle of the night or in the morning.
Dude,
You got two or three
I was
appointments that you could never book because you weren't either awake or you were closed, right? This thing's open 24/7. As long as they have that link, right? You communicate, it gives them time to think. They look at it real time, but boom, boom. Next thing you know, it's populated.
I have had some of my biggest weeks in my entire career ever since we had this system put in place. I don't put numbers out there and like to brag on how much money is going down, but I will tell you, dude, I have never hit numbers like I've hit with this system. And dude, I'm off. I'm fishing. It's about to be duck season. We like to hunt out here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you don't have no idea how super excited I am that I'm gonna be able to go hunting, and I still have customers booking appointments, making money while I'm not here in my business.
People just mark
Dude,
my
they
words.
have no idea.
Mark my words, Ryan. And this is what it's August. Let's see here. It's August. What day is it? Let's see here. I'm recording.
28th.
I'm recording this Tuesday, August 28th, 2018. I predict by 2020, the same day and time, half the companies out there in the world will be adopting this system, dude. Because there is no especially if you're in the retail, there's no reason why their excuse that you should not have this in place. So,
Dude, even dealerships, dude. I use it for dealerships and body shops. I do the
your
calendar.
schedule.
I've used my calendar to the deal because I do have good dealerships, man. I'll tell you what, I do like the high end market, but I have dealerships that just treat me like family. I have body shops that treat me like family. And I'm like, look, I just need you to adopt this system that I have. And I've created calendars specifically for those individual dealerships,
Yeah.
and they use it, dude. And we're good.
And let's talk about keep going with the system. The system doesn't stop there, right? Like listen, you guys, we are talking about a system all the way through. Okay, from the minute Ryan's got a little system to how you greet them at the shop. Your website is a 24 selling machine, right? It is not a sit and wait website. It is an aggressive, hey, let me get that customer. Let me get them to call you. Let me get them to follow up with an estimate. Then you got your calendar system put in place. You got forms put in the friggin' system as well. You got follow-up systems inside of it. It is the shizzo, okay? And then you've got obviously the review system as well, okay? Now, it's not just like, oh, I got it. Mike and Ryan just gave me the idea. Now I'm going to go and get a calendar system. It's not like that easy, okay? It's look, you got to have scripts. There's things that we tested to help people, like, to get them to react, okay? So I'm telling you, I'm not preaching to you guys like, oh, this is the way, this is the only way. I'm not telling you. Heck, if you guys can get a lot of what I'm saying with Ryan saying, then so be it. That's great. I think that's what it's for. This podcast is for a value. But if you want to take it to a next level, it's like, check this out. Wouldn't you agree, Ryan? It's like, what I'm saying to you, it's like watching a video doing PDR. Okay, oh, I see what he's doing. I got it, right? I'm going to go do what he said, what he did on the video.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to learn it right then and there. Instead, why don't you go get the personal training, get honed in, get those bad habits into good habits right away, and free off and running much quicker, smoother, easier. So,
and that's what I put into the Dent Trainer experience was, look, Dent Trainer was like a really good ground point for me. And it was good. Same thing for my brother. I was like drilling him. I was like, watch all these videos. This is going to make you good. And then it was to a certain point where I was like, it is good, but if you get that personal experience, it is going to change your whole game up. And that's exactly what it did. It was just a ground point for it. So don't just think that you could do one point of what Mike and John and everybody else is saying and think that it's going to work for your business. You have to literally follow the steps and use them. And I'm telling you, it's going to work. Well, it has worked for me.
Look, I've given our listeners a lot of little pointers about that. Look, here's the deal. You want to get a nice website. Look, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on it, but if you're interested in a website, to contact John or I, we will get you a great website going, no matter what platform, to be honest with you. You have a website. We'll talk about all the details later about the site things, but look, you guys, we all know we could learn a lot more in the marketing. Like I said, that is the thing. You constantly got to plant seeds. We are actually talking about the Mega Media event. Speaking of that, we are actually considering. Actually, I am working on it. I don't know if it's going to be out this 3.0, but we are working on an online Mega Media event. So, badass, kick-ass way to attend. But anyways, but we'll get into that as well later on during the day. But so anyways, you implement it, you're going into your reviews now, dude. And like, what else is like, besides the reviews, what else is like different about your company since you've been marketing?
The customer experience, man. It's you can sit there and do all these things to get the customer in, but I will tell you right now, it's all about the customer experience. And from the second that you talk to that customer, or if you have a physical location, I think this is going to push more on the point of people who have a physical location. As soon as the customer walks in the door, man, I hired somebody for some cheap money, and he greets my customers, dude, super nice, and I get compliments all the time on how nice he was. And all of that stuff is just this big boiling pot, like a big gumbo for us to sell the end product. And it's it, dude. It's there's nothing crazy about this whole process. It's just doing it, you know what I mean? So the customer experience for me was like one of the biggest things, because gratitude out here in Louisiana, I mean,
Hard to come
look,
by.
dude, no, it's not, man. I've gone to customers' houses to fix dents, and they've brought me inside, cooked me breakfast, made me coffee. I mean,
I know
it
it's
happens
like
all
you
the
saved
time,
their kid or something, dude.
dude. And I'm talking, this all stemmed from the internet. Like
Yeah.
they met me on Google.
Yeah.
It's not even like I met them on the street or at a bar somewhere out here in Louisiana. I've met this customer. She's a really good customer of mine, and the first time I met her, I went to her house, fixed her car, and she was like, "Come inside." She was a little foreign lady, and she started cooking me food. She was finding dents on her car after that, just for me to come by, fix them so she could make me coffee. And then it started stemming. We were
Are-
drinking tequila at 12 o'clock.
Is your face on your website? Is your video of yourself on the website? Or
Yes,
okay.
the videos, the photos, all the stuff that show the person, because as soon as they see who you are physically, they're like, man, they put a face to the
You're a
business.
superstar to them, dude.
That's it. That's it. As soon as you show up to their house or you're talking to them on the phone, they're like, is this Ryan, the person in the video that I've seen? And I'm like, yes, it's me. And that makes them feel more comfortable to buy your product. That's it.
If you talk to anybody, I guarantee you guys, you know, Bryce Kelly, there's Bryce Rockhill, there's Sal Contreras, there's, you know, there's a lot of guys out there who've done a lot of videos on YouTube. Call up one of them, hit them up with a message. Hey, do you get customers that like, is that you on YouTube, or is that you on that I saw in the video? And it's like, it's almost like they're starstruck. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's what I try to say to people. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, you've got to put your dang darn face on there, man. You got to start putting you in there, because people really want a person that's dealing with their car. They're more likely to call if your competitor's doing it and he's all over the place. I guarantee you he's kicking your butt in the marketing. Guarantee you, dude.
And I think that's where a lot of PDR techs will be like, a lot of people like to sit in their comfort zone, right? I mean, their comfort zone's where they like to chill at. That's where they like to run their business. But they've got a lot of, and I'm one of them, man. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not on Facebook all the time throwing live videos out because I don't feel comfortable on live video yet. But that's my next goal,
Yep.
right? I put that as a goal for me to be more comfortable on video. And I know as soon as I break that out to my local market, it's going to make me a celebrity out here. And that I've learned that from John. I mean, from Mike. Being a local celebrity in your market, dude, is going to totally change everything. And that's my next goal.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to be my next point. You guys want something to work on. You need to work on your Facebook page, guys. If you guys want to see how I do it, go to my Facebook page, Facebook at Dent Time. Go check it out. I do on one. I try to do at least one a day. Yes, this morning I did one on a motorcycle tank, saying this is how we fix dents on a motorcycle tank. I did a live video. You might not want to do a full live PDR video, but you can, hey, introduce yourself, right? And get comfortable. I'm getting so damn comfortable, man. I feel like a freaking salesman on there, man. Like not one of those guys, but like I just feel comfortable. And when you feel comfortable, right? Customers feel comfortable. And what happens when they feel comfortable? They start trusting you that, hey, that's the guy to go to. So start building your market that way. Start looking into Facebook. I'm telling you, Facebook is really, really trying hard, especially if you have a Facebook page. They're really trying hard to get customers to contact you there. I don't know if you've ever been on there where they'll say, send a message in the bottom corner, right? When you're on someone's page, Facebook page. It works. I'm getting probably about anywhere between 6 to 10 messages a week. And then you guys want to know how to build a system inside your messenger? Come to Mega Media event. Okay.
That's where I'm wanting to learn that more. And that's why I'm coming. I'll be there October. And that's I think that's like the next step for me is, dude, I went to the first Mega Media event and I still need to learn more. So it's not like
it's overwhelming.
I don't want people to think that they're just going to do this one thing and they think their business is going to flourish. You got to keep this stuff up. It's like a learning experience, but the fractions of money that are being spent on this stuff, it's like it gets paid hand over fist all day, every day when you actually use it.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, Ryan, have you sent me a message through my messenger yet?
Yes.
On Facebook?
And I'm like, look, and here's my tech tip for everybody out there in the PDR industry. And I hope I'm not like busting anything. Stop looking at everybody's PDR in the PDR industry. Stop looking at their videos. And even if it doesn't have anything to do with the PDR industry, stop looking at it like a spectator. If you look at it like a business owner and start looking at it like dissecting that, dude, you're going to start making more money because it's going to get your wheels spinning. And maybe, hey, I might not, at least it made your wheels spin. And then you need a little help getting to that point.
Good advice.
And that's what Mike and John can help you with. Or you're smart enough to do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself. I mean? Like you guys want some ideas, man? Go to my. Why don't you just say, hey, Mike, I'm testing out the messenger. Go do it. Go to my messenger on the Facebook page, not a private message. I'm talking from my Facebook page, my facebook.com/denttime. Right. Send me a message there. Watch what happens. Okay.
But I think a lot of people get drowned out and being, especially on Facebook and all these PDR groups and stuff we have, they just look at it as spectators. And I'm like laughing. Sorry. I'm like, dude, look at it as dissect that shit and start using it to build your business.
I think you hit a great point, Ryan. Like you did a great job, dude, like saying that, dude, because I didn't think about talking like that, dude. You really do.
Well, I don't want to it's like letting the worm out the bag, but
no, it's not. No, it's not, because look, I don't care, honestly, Ryan. Like, and I know. Listen, it's not one thing that's going to change your business.
Right.
Just like you guys heard me say about dent repair, right? If you really want to be the best tech, PDR tech, okay, you've got to be good at everything: creases, body lines, hail repair. Now, the marketing part. And I call that last part is MMD, mixed martial dents, right? You got to know everything, black belt and everything. Well, same thing with marketing, mixed martial marketing, right?
Right.
You've got to take everything that you learned and put it in, because you never know what's gonna come up next. Is it gonna be the Facebook ads? Is it gonna be AdWords? Is it gonna be Google Local, the Yelp reviews, and so on and so forth? That's what's great. You have to know and want to be the best at everything, including the marketing. So I think, Ryan, anything else you want to touch base on, because we've almost here an hour now.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. It was a great topic though. I mean, I think they're gonna have a lot of
stuff to chew on right here.
Yeah, man, a lot of PDR techs are gonna start thinking about where they're gonna bring their business, and I think that this is gonna help them out a little bit. And if not, at least they know where to go to. You know what I mean?
Here, I don't want to apologize for anything, because I know what I do. Ryan knows what I do works. And for some people, I might offend you that I'm actually telling you guys to sign up for a Mega Media event, but I shouldn't tell you if it works. I'm not ripping you off. I'm not hoaxing you into doing something. But here's my advice. No matter what you do, whether you use our advice or you go to our event, or you do it on your own, I'll tell you what's the key. No matter what you do, no matter what you choose, is be consistent and put 110% into what you choose to do. Don't half-ass it and then say it didn't work, because the truth is that if you did 100% or not. Just like PDR, the marketing part deserves a lot of effort, a lot of dedication. And don't try to do everything at once. It's not going to work. It's not going to work like that. There's a certain way, a formula that you have to do it from top to bottom, or bottom to top, however you want to say it. but there is a way in order that you should be doing it. So,
well, that's what's funny to me is that these PDR techs, you know how hard it's been for us to get into the industry, right? To learn the PDR part of the business, right?
yeah, of course.
You had to bust every PDR tech out there that's making money pushing dents had to bust their butt, right?
Struggle.
If you were willing to do that, then you need to be willing to do that in your marketing yourself and do that. And you've seen your skills be the best that they are possibly with the paintless dent repair because you busted your butt. Do that with the marketing and see what it does for you.
Absolutely. I just want to say, Ryan, thanks for coming on, dude. This was a great topic. I hope a lot of people got a lot out of it. There's a lot of good stuff that we talked about. You've heard me probably talk about a few of these things before, but this is a proven person right here. I mean, you're self-taught. I mean, what else can you say? You're self-taught. You've been to the events. You've actually put in forth what we've told you in formulas, and you created systems. You are the high-end market. That's what you choose to be in. What else can I say, man? So congratulations, man. Great job.
All
dude.
I have to is I appreciate everything you guys have ever done.
Well, we're going to end on that note. I just want to say thanks a lot for listening. Please, if you have not subscribed, please go to iTunes, subscribe. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. I'd like to get some more people's thoughts about how they like the podcast. It is kind of a new podcast. Still, there's a lot of people that don't know about it. However, I have been lagging in trying to promote it, but it is on YouTube too. So if you want to check that out, I do have a playlist called Dent Time Podcast. You can see that there on my Dent Time channel. But I'm off. Thanks, Ryan, again, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.